That's what God does with things. He takes things and he multiplies it and makes it do far more than it would under our own power. Do you miss having time for Jesus and yourself, but you're drowning in the responsibilities of motherhood? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Cheryl, wife, girl mom, and Jesus follower. I learned the not-so-secret ways to become the mom my girls needed by prioritizing Jesus back into my mom life and reclaiming my identity in Christ. If you're ready to build faith while washing dishes, rediscover your identity, and love yourself like your babies do, grab your earbuds and lock that bathroom door for a minute alone. It's time for Mom. Hey beautiful, welcome to the Time for Mom podcast. I am your host, Cheryl. Today is the 99th episode of Time for Mom. Can you believe it? We are going to have episode 100 on Friday, and I am just so excited. I can't believe that it's been not just 100 episodes, but we're also almost to 1 year of Time for Mom and almost to 2 years of Time for Mom devotions. Today is just honest conversation about persistence. When I was in my late teens, I got a dog, a little fox terrier mix, and we have no idea what the mix is, and she's still alive, which is somewhat surprising. But in that first week of getting a dog, I called my parents who were away on a big trip and had a complete meltdown on my mom because I realized how much responsibility having a small pet was that was bonded to you and very dependent. See, I grew up with a pony. Ponies are not dependent on people. They can look at hay or grass and get very, very fat. Dogs are not like that. They need attention and grooming, and you have to feed them and water them. They're just a lot more care intensive. And I had a complete meltdown because I realized I'd gotten a dog and I couldn't just get rid of it. It was a commitment. Fast forward, and she still is a really good dog. And I'm glad that I decided to keep her. But in that lesson of realizing when I make decisions of adding things to my life, that it is a commitment and it requires commitment from me. That same wave of emotions did happen when I started Time for Mom devotions and the Time for Mom podcast of being committed to a full year of doing this consistently every week and leaving the results up to God. Just being consistent, getting better at what I do, because that's how you get better at anything is you just do it over and over and over again. And as a result, Time for Mom is a 2.5% globally rated podcast. That's not anything to sneeze at, I don't think. Time for Mom devotions, while it doesn't have a huge readership, I do receive comments and emails from people who those have helped. And a conversation that I had with my husband was, if just one person is helped, then it should be worth it. Because just because it only helped one person on my end doesn't mean it won't help more than that in the future. That's what God does with things. He takes things and he multiplies it and makes it do far more than it would under our own power. On the subject of persistence, I can't not talk about parenting because parenting is so hard. For one, you can get rid of dogs. You can't get rid of kids. I'm sorry. Some people I guess can, but I can't. It came from my body and I'm stuck with it for life, my life and their life. They're my kids. I can't get rid of them. It's non-negotiable. And in that sense, it can be really hard because it seems like there's no escape. And then I start fighting with myself going, well, should there be an escape? Why should I want an escape? And the real truth is we get sold this bill of goods that motherhood and parenting is just a waste of our lives, and we have to spend 18 years pouring into something that may grow up to despise us or may grow up to be our best friends. And our society paints that as a waste of life and intelligence and time, but it's not. So in this journey of motherhood, I'm not just fighting myself, but I'm fighting culture and expectations and these lies that say that sitting at home and doing dishes and letting my kids do dishes with me and spread water everywhere and help me cook and have grease all over the place because they don't have the muscle control to do it is a waste, and it's not. It's pouring into those kids and teaching them valuable life skills. I have a 6-year-old who can cook her own breakfast. To me, that's a pretty significant accomplishment for a 6-year-old to be able to independently cook her own breakfast. I might be wrong. I'm sure there's younger kids out there, but I'm very happy with how she's developing, and that is because of persistence. And the same thing with our youngest. There are parts of her that seem very ahead of other kids her own age, and that is because we have been extremely persistent in what we do for the most part. But it is not without cost. It is not without frustration and discouragement and heartache. But that is life. In this life, we are called to persist and persevere in all that we do for God's sake, whether it is doing the laundry when we just want to curl up in a ball and cry, whether it is going and trying to be brave and tell a person about Jesus when all we want to do is shrink into our shell because we know that they're going to lash out, potentially even physically. Whether it is planting a seed in our children or a stranger and just praying that God will make it grow, because our heart breaks when we look at this fallen world and when we think of our children growing up without God in their lives. So much is all about persistence and trusting God with the results, because we can't control them. It's all up to Him. It always has been. We have an illusion of control, but it's always been up to God what happens and what doesn't. It's our responsibility to persevere and trust Him with the results. This perseverance and persistence, it goes across everything. Gardening, our actual paying jobs, parenting like I already mentioned. Anything that we do in life requires persistence and perseverance to get better, to become better people, to become more refined, more confident, more skilled. It all requires perseverance and persistence. If you are going through your week and you're just exhausted and you're tired and you don't want to be persistent, I get you. I usually have at least one day a week where I just want to curl up in a ball and not do anything. At least one day. But it's okay. Reach out to God in those moments. He's right there with you. Pray. Talk to Him. Ask Him what to do. Life is hard. Being a mom is hard, but it's not without reward. It's just usually not reward that we see in the moment. So thank you very much for those listening who have been listening. Thank you so much for sticking with me for an entire year of podcasting and 100 episodes, or almost 100 episodes of podcasting. It's just been so awesome. The people that I've met and the interviews that I've gotten to participate in or to do and put on this podcast. There's a really, really cool one coming up that you don't want to miss, so be on the lookout for that. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. There's a great newsletter that goes out once a month, plus all of the exclusive devotions that you get a year before they're going to come on the podcast. And I'm about to start adding a few new things to the newsletter to just give you guys a little more value for subscribing. So yeah, thank you so much for an incredible year of persistence and perseverance and just waiting to see what God does with what He's asked me to do. Until next week, mamas, I just pray that when God asks you to do something hard or mundane, that you do persist and persevere and watch and see what God does with your obedience. Love, Cheryl. Hey, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a mom who's wading through those mounds of laundry and dishes and wishing for just a little me time? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It makes my day to know this podcast has helped you. Well, it's time for me to wash more dishes and cook more food. I'll meet you next Wednesday for another episode. Until then, may the God of grace fill you with His peace.